we got to start off by putting some floral foam on here. So what I've pre-done is I cut some little blocks. So I usually get the big floral foam sheets, and then I cut it into all the little pieces I can so I can get just a whole lot out of it. So what I'm going to do is dip these in glue, and then we're going to just, I've got my glue pot right over here, and I'm just going to give that a little scrape, and like you want a nice layer, okay? And we're going to tuck this right in on this right corner right here, boom, okay? We're taking that a little square. This is probably like a 2x3 square. And I'm going to scrape that off also so it's got a nice coating on it. That's going to go on this side. So you get the gist. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting some foam everywhere. I don't need a ton of it. And then I cut a little block just to go right in front of this tummy, because that way I've got enough area to put all of my pieces in and just build this cute little centerpiece right up. So when I'm teaching in design school, I'm always going to be teaching you to build a really good solid foundation, because I want to teach you to also sell your work and how you can get the most for every piece that you work with. So in design school, I'm going to teach you first to create a really great solid foundation by starting with greenery. Of course, the mechanics of putting it together with the foam, getting that on, and getting this base just ready to rock and roll. So we're going to start with these. This is a bush that has leaves and berries, and we're going to put these kind of in the background. So if you want to make this for your house and use this on your mantle, you can definitely change the supplies. You can just get the turkey. You don't have to get all the supplies, whatever you want that will go with your look. But this is one of my, really, it's kind of a fun, quick arrangement. Now hold on to those good wired stems. We always want to save these for other projects. Now, with this, I want you to take it, I want you to move the leaves to the background and keep the pumpkins and the berries in the foreground. So it creates a base layer of greenery. And so if we're making a wreath, we would call that in design school, we'd call that greening the perimeter. And we're going to do that same thing with that centerpiece right now. So if you are in design school, give yourself a shout out in the comments. Tell us you're a Keleas Blue Merino here watching. We thank you so much. And if you would like to encourage anyone else out there watching, let them know how much you love design school and what you enjoy about it. That would really be a blessing to us and our family. All right, I'm going to cut these a little shorter. I'm a little bit shorter. I'm just trimming them down a little bit to just like about an inch stem. I've shook hands with them. I got them right where I want them. And now we're going to green that perimeter like I talked about. So, depending how long and wide your mantle is, I want you to think about how far to go out. So, I'm going to go out about 10 inches on either side. So we're going to go into my glue here and give that a swirl around. And then just push it right in here, because this is going to be greening the perimeter. So this will be the longest greenery. The rest of the greenery will be shorter. And just push that into the foam. All right, number one piece is in. Now I'm going to go on the right with the same thing. It's a pretty symmetrical design. What you do on the right, you'll also do on the left. So you're going to see me doing that right now. Let me move my moss over just a little bit. And now go in right here. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so big and beautiful. I love it. Now, the reason I got the Spanish moss is because that's, if I need to cover up or hide anything, I'm going to be using this, okay? And that's our chartreuse Spanish moss there. All right, now I need to take my centerpiece, and we're going to divide this into two pieces, okay? So we'll have two pieces that are kind of similar length. And we will just go one on the right and one on the left. So we're still working our perimeter, and we're going to just evenly space that out. I'm going to kind of keep these a little low. Yeah, how cute are you? Little gobble gobble. This gobble gobble's adorable. All right, I'm going to put that a little bit further back. Those hit each other in the foam. So if that happens, just move down a little bit of the foam. Okay, so I don't want it to come in forward too much. Just the perfect amount. So it'll just kind of drape over the edge of my mantle. And you can work some pumpkins, some candlesticks beside it, but super cute turkey right here. Okay, now we're gonna get our bigger greenery bush. And this one right here, I've got two of these. We're gonna use this to fill in all that area, just so lush with greenery. So I want you to take and push them up just a little to where you've got about a 5-inch stem here, and they're not quite so spread out. So we get a nice bushy look. See that? That's what we're going for. Cut everybody to 2-inch stems and just kind of hack down this whole bush. And we're going to do one bush this way. And we're ready to go. And we're going to be putting that in now. Okay? So let's just start on either side like we've been doing. And we'll put this one on the right. All right, very good. And then I'll put one on the left in the same position. Gotta work back and forth. Perfect. Now let's put some in the middle. So get two that are about the same. And then we'll put one on the right and one on the left in the middle. And I'm being really diligent not to cover up the turkey. Everything's gonna stay low. And we're gonna create this great base. Because when we get ready to put those pumpkins in and we put in the super cute orange florals that we're gonna add, that's gonna just fill right in. Now I'm gonna come right to the middle and go a little bit higher here and off the side, pretty. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And this will kind of come off the top of the phone. I'm gonna shorten it up just a little bit. Trim that stem a little bit. It's a little bit too long. Don't be afraid to shorten them or adjust them as necessary. You see those coming up? Okay, cute. So I've got my base greenery and then I've got my my leafy, like branchy greenery, okay? I'm gonna take and push these down. And then I'm gonna trim them all down as well. Here we go. So 5 inches with about a 1 to 2 inch stem is perfect. We can always shorten them more if we need to. So we're just trying to get really good coverage as we work our way around. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna go on the top this time of the foam and over to the right, okay? So make it a little shorter. And if you need to, grab it and then pull it. Ugh. There you go. And this one on the left. Okay, just right on top. Beautiful. Now let's put a little bit more. Now we're gonna kind of come forward. So give that a little bit of a bend. I'm always talking about depth and dimension in design school, so I want you to know the same thing here if you're watching. Depth and dimension allow you to get a higher value for your wreaths you're selling, and really they'll take your pieces to the next level, which is what you really want when you're creating. You want to keep stepping up your designs to reach the next level. And you know, if you want to be a seller, you want to attract the right clientele. Good coverage going on right here at the center. So I'll put this one in the right there and we'll kind of bring it down. Super cute. So it's nice and filling out with greenery. I'm going to take this one and use it over on the right. I'm going to pull it down a little bit to get that shorter. This one's going to go over here. Yes, I love that. Super cute. So let's get a look at what we got going on right now. Let me pull my glue pot out of the way and show you how cute. So we've got this gray base going. We've got the leaves with the little mini pumpkins and then the greenery. I do have 2 pieces of this left. I'm going to put that off to the side and we're going to put our orange grass in next. With this bush, I'm just going to take and tear each of these stems off of here and then we'll trim it and get it ready to start putting it. Okay, so when you trim these down, you're going to get like a little, a longer stem and a shorter. And I'm going to cut those into 2 sections so I can kind of break it up a little bit into the 2 pieces. So let's do that with the whole bush. Cut off that longer one and then the shorter. Everybody just needs a nice little 2-inch stems when you're trimming them. So you're always going to see me take a bush a lot of times or a pick or a spray and we're going to break them down into smaller pieces if we need to. On this design, we are working on, filling out the base and not being so long, so they need to be kind of short, okay? That's the magic of what we're doing here to prep this. This one might be a little too long. I'm going to do this into 2 pieces. Okay, so everybody gets pretty consistent in length. And what we want to do is, this is going to be our orange color that we're going to add along with our cute little pumpkins we're going to put in. So I've got 4 pieces of this, so I want to make sure I work these in evenly as I go through the whole piece. And then I'm going to hold these off to the side and we'll use those in a moment too, once we get our pumpkins in. I'm going to take this one and just give it a little swim in the glue skillet here. And let's put one kind of on top. I'm going to lay it on top right here, out to the edge. Kind of over here to the side. Yes. So what I'm trying to do is get a little bit of this orange color going, because that's what we're going to have with our cute pumpkins. This one's going to run right up the middle. I'm going to put it just right here in the center, so it can kind of come out the beginning, the front. Whoa, gobble gobble, buddy. If you can't get that one to lay down, I'll trim it. Okay, let me trim him and I'll put him in separate. You can always do that. The foam is available for you just to put things in individually. Okay? It's kind of popping up, but it's not quite exactly sitting where I want it. Hopefully by the time I get the pumpkins in, it will cooperate. Now this one's going to go off to the left. Alright, off to our left, kind of cascading in between those two pieces of greenery, and we're kind of doing what we did on the right, we're doing it on the left, and look how fun that is. Alright, hold these little orange pieces off to the side, and it's time to grab our pumpkin. Our super cute pumpkins are coming in. And we're going to start with these, just cutting them off the stem into their long pieces, and definitely going to be breaking them up into smaller pieces, because they are so much fun. But I'm just tearing them a little and cutting them. Now, if you were going to do like a fall tree that you wanted to put like full pumpkin stems, this would be great for that. You could use those long stems because it's so nice and long. Now, what I'm going to do is divide these into sections so I get nice, cute little sections like this of pumpkins. And I'm going to have a long and a short, I think, off each one. So this will be my short one, and this will be my long one. Okay? I'm going to do that with all three sections. And we'll have a short and a long. So let's start with those long pieces. I'm going to put the short ones in my bucket for a second, and we'll come back to those. The long pieces, we want to use those cool wires and this cool vine that's on them, and use these right kind of coming out from the center to start with. How fun is that going to be? Because can you see that on your mantle, and it's kind of reaching out over the edge? Oh my gosh, this turkey never looked better. Okay, I'm going to find my other creepy cool one like this, and it's going to go on the other side doing the same thing. So one on the right, one on the left. I love, love, love it. Okay, just push that in the same area and let it come down. Now, I'm going to take the remaining pieces we have left, and we're going to cut them into little small pieces, which we've already got in the bucket here. All right, and let's take and start tucking these in. So we need one on each end first. So let's find a couple of these more dramatic ones, and let's put them on each end. Okay, so I'm dipping them in my glue. We're going to go on the right over here. I love him. This one's going to kind of put the pumpkins a little more underneath, so it's not quite so in your face. Do the same thing over here. A little bit kind of tucked into that greenery. Over to the side. Oh yeah. Kind of working on that dimension like I talked about earlier. Isn't that great? See our lines working? I've got these two working in the middle and those coming out the bottom. Let's put a nice big fat cluster right in the middle. Okay. Coming out straight. Isn't that awesome? Right there. And then these two on either side. So I'm going to tuck one to the right, kind of coming over into that area, and then we'll put one over into here. So we've got just this whole festival of pumpkins in here with grasses. Super cute. I'm loving it. Great filling in. And we're going to soften those now. We're going to bring back the greeneries and the pieces we had left, and we're going to work these in right now. I'm going to save those two pieces of green to the very last. And what I want you to do is grab these that just have kind of the white, and we're going to start to evenly distribute those. We have white here, we have white there, so we need a little bit more in each of these other sections. A little touch of this nice muted, it's kind of a brown white with a little touch of orange. We're going to put that on either side. So as we're doing this whole design, everything kind of transitions at the middle. You know, it goes from the center and out to the right and left. So when you start to make your own designs for your home, I want you to think about that when you're putting things together. How can I have this flow work? How does this transition of my florals work in here? That's really what makes your pieces so different and nice. And we're layering up those colors. You notice we didn't just use all the orange in one place or all the brown in one place. We worked hard to distribute those colors throughout the design. And that's what I want you to do on yours too. Whether it's for you or you want to learn how to sell them with us over here at Keleas.com and learn to take your business to the next level, I'm here to help you. Let's bring this one in one more. Okay. Oh my gosh, so stinking cute. I love him. It's just fully loaded. I got a little bit of grass here that I'm going to kind of let come up against his body just a little bit right here in the middle. Kind of like a little fun homage to that other piece, kind of tuck it up. Cute. Now, we put all that white in the foreground, and I'm going to soften it just a tinge by just doing some little clusters of the green up here at the front too. Okay, cut that stem just a little bit longer this time because we need a little bit of room to reach the foam. This is going to go right in here in the middle. So there's a lot going into this section, but it's worth it. Now, the last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to check in there, and if you can see any of your foam, you're going to come in and you're going to put a little bit of moss on it and tuck that in to cover up any mechanics, so that way you've got a great piece ready to sell, ready to put in your Etsy shop or take to your craft show, and you are good to go. Let me give you a good look at her. She is cute and adorable. Won't she look fantastic on your mantle, your customer's mantle? Adorable. All right, Bloomerinos, I'll see you next time. Make sure you have fun with flowers and like and subscribe and follow wherever you're watching.